Tight like a tiger. Give me a smoke
Nope.
and a pancake. Sorry. A little bit of
Love
Austin
it.
Powers Tourette's kicking in.
And I think it's important as
Yeah.
well, if they lose, that they don't get bounced, because they have one of the worst differentials, anywhere in excess of 80 points, which they'll have to do to beat the Bulldogs.
There's no way you're resting anybody or doing anything like that. Like, I don't think any team in the hunt.
Wow, that's big. That's important.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome back to Ahead of the Game Sports Chat with Sports Pez Jez and Tux Sports Takes from bets.com.au. And today, Jez, it's all about the run home in the AFL.
Yeah, it's certainly heating up in this absolute bottleneck of a top 10. It's got to be the closest AFL season. I don't know. I can remember at least. It feels like anybody can end up anywhere. Good teams can lose to bad teams. And the shape of the top 8 right now is going to be completely different. It'll be like Rubik's cubes in the wrong direction by the time it comes to the finals, because there's just so much possibility for movement. It's nuts.
As long as Frio are there or thereabouts, then I'm
Nah,
happy. But I
all the
remember we had
Suns.
this little bit
It's our
of
year, baby.
conversation.
It's our year. Scrape into the 8. That's all we want. We don't want
Yeah.
much. Just let us
Well,
scrape into the 8, please.
it's
Please,
just,
footy gods. Come on.
it's the prophecy. I said it last year. 2 of the next 3 years, they'll be in the top 8 and they'll make play finals. So they have to make it. Otherwise,
But
need to give
they're
this
in
up.
just this familiar position, though, just sitting on the edge, on the cusp. I think last time they were this close, I think we were in Melbourne in the final round and they lost to someone shit and they missed out. I think it might have even been Ablett's last year or something. Oh, anyway,
But
it's a
they
whole
were
nother story.
close
It's not
last
really.
year as well. And we had this
Yeah.
similar conversation about
Mm,
the tightest AFL in recent history, and
mm,
because it was so
mm,
bunched. But there was
mm.
also, I think, maybe a clear lead at the top, which wasn't
Yeah,
like it is now, where essentially any of the top 4 teams, or maybe not Hawthorn right now, but Collingwood, Brisbane, and Adelaide all could win the minor premiership. And
mm,
any of the kind of giants, Freo, Suns, and Bulldogs could miss out. So
mm.
it's certainly certainly tight. But
Yeah.
let's
Tight like a tiger. Tight like a
tight like a
tiger.
toy.
Tight like a tiger. Give me a smoke
So
and a pancake. Sorry. A little bit of
love it.
Austin Powers Tourette's kicking in.
So what we're gonna do? We're gonna go through the predictor for the remaining
Mm,
games in the AFL. We're recording this on a Friday afternoon, evening, Australian time. So the Essendon Bulldogs game and the Sydney GWS game, while we are recording this, have not started yet. So
mm.
we'll just go with that. And then some of the games will stay on and elaborate a little bit. Some will just breeze through because they're irrelevant maybe to the finishing standings, and then we'll see if we who's in and who's out.
Mm. All right. Sounds good.
All right. So Hawthorn beat
The
Carlton on
predictor.
Thursday
Sorry.
night, which puts them up to now 4th, but they have obviously played a game extra than everybody else.
Mm.
Bulldogs, they have to beat Essendon tonight, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No problem.
Are we going to just keep all the margins at 20? I did this earlier today, and percentage definitely plays a part. But do we want to
Yeah.
get into that in this conversation, or we just do a blank 20?
Yeah. No. We just play 20, and then we can have a look maybe at the end and go, all right. Well, this team had an easier run home, so they have a possibility to have better margins than that.
Yeah. Sydney
Go on, wins and
Derby,
losses.
if the Swans
Yeah.
lose, then they're done.
Mm.
GWS, if they lose, they're in the firing line. This game is possibly the the most important one in terms of who's going to make the 8 or stay in the 8 in this round. And I'm leaning towards the Giants. I think the Swans are just they can't
Mm.
keep doing it.
Mm. Yeah. See, I don't know. It's really tough because the Swans have an extremely good record over GWS at the moment. I think it was even the game that they played against GWS earlier this year that put them a little bit back on track after going absolutely sideways. So, like, I'm GWS should win this game, but it wouldn't surprise me if the Swans do take it.
So Sydney have won 6 of the last 7 against
Yeah.
the Giants, which also
Yeah.
includes was it maybe the first round qualifying final last year?
Yeah.
And then,
Yeah.
as you said,
And look at the margins. I'm pretty sure there's something crazy with the margins of those games. It's like 2 points, 1 point. Aren't they?
well,
Are
yeah.
you in
If you
the?
go back to 2019, there's been 4 games of 2 points or less.
Yeah.
And all of those have
Right.
gone to GWS.
Yeah. Oh,
Um,
interesting.
but Sydney's average win margin in their victories is pretty big. It's 27 points,
Mm. Yeah, but
and
it's a flip of a
only one
coin.
has
Like
been below 10.
I think these derby games, pretty much like a lot of them, all this weekend in sort of derby rounds, they're like anything happens
Yeah.
in these games. Like you always get up, like all of a sudden Frio will lose this week, mate, and you'll be on the cusp.
Who are we
But
picking?
for namesake, I think you picked GWS. They're obviously the heavy favourite. I agree. The Swans haven't. They're due to end their run, I think.
Suns and Lions.
Mm,
Another tough one.
yeah, like the
What's the history
Lions.
there?
Yeah, the Lions dominate. It's something massive too. It's like 11 of the last 12 or
Ugh.
something like that. I did the write up earlier this week, so it doesn't look good. I think the Suns got up in 2023.
Yeah.
I think it was.
Yeah.
But I like
Correct.
this is make or break for the Suns. I think it's going to put a lot more pressure on them to win their games, and there'll be something in later on in the rounds that we talk about when it comes to the Suns that's going to put even more pressure on them. So like they can't afford to drop a game, and they need to get up in this QClash. Like this is a grand final for them. I think they lose here. I don't know. They become likely to miss instead of being sort of more likely to make it in.
And I think it's important as
Yeah.
well, if they lose, that they don't get bounced, because they have the worst or one of the worst differentials of these teams that are,
Yeah.
it's probably going to be the Bulldogs or Frio, likely, if
Yeah.
GWS win today.
And they're well
That
behind the Western Bulldogs on percentage already now,
Yeah,
and think that Bulldogs are going to play Essendon, and Essendon are in absolute like massive injury trouble at the moment
yeah,
and are struggling. So that could be a huge win for like the Bulldogs score 100 plus all the time. So and
yeah,
Essendon can't score;
yeah.
they can't kick goals. So that could be huge. So it's
We might have to
yeah.
revisit that
But
margin if we need to get down to it. Geelong beat North Melbourne,
did you take Brisbane then?
took Brisbane,
Yeah.
took Freo over West Coast. They're
Yeah.
just polar opposites at the moment. I don't think there's a
Mm.
chance that West Coast win that.
No.
Geelong beat North Melbourne.
Yeah.
The showdown, Adelaide.
Crows, mate.
Yeah, I've been like, you can't tip Port Adelaide in anything this year. They're just
No.
so
No.
inconsistent.
No.
I did a
No.
write
And the
up on
Crows
this.
are the Crows. I don't know. They're my pick, man. They're my pick for the
Mm,
Premiership. I'm still riding that. I got on them a couple of, I don't know, probably a month ago. And they like look what they did to the Suns. Held the Suns goalless for like
yeah,
2.5
two.
quarters.
Yeah,
Like they absolutely dominated. So definitely, yeah, definitely the Crows there. They also have won like 4 of the last 5
yeah,
showdowns or something like that. 5 of the last 6 or something there. So
yeah. Richmond won't be able to get up on Collingwood, even though the Collie Wobbles have started. I don't think
collie
this
wobbles,
game is in
collie
danger.
wobbles. What are the collie wobbles?
It's when they start losing in important games like they have the last couple of weeks.
Yeah, huge.
Um, St Kilda Melbourne has really no bearing on anything, but I think St
Yeah,
Kilda win that game.
yeah. They beat them earlier in the year too.
All right, did we make a pick in all the games there? We did.
Mm.
Yeah, cool. Let's go on to the next round then. Collingwood
Now
Brisbane.
things
This could
getting.
decide the minor premiership.
Which round are you in?
Oh, went too far. Hold on. Round 21. Here we go. Bulldogs
Yes.
Giants. It's a Thursday night
Huge,
game.
huge.
It's at Marvel, if that makes a difference. Bulldogs are favoured.
Mm.
It's a tough one, Jez.
Yeah, I want to tip GWS because Suns are going to need some help.
Do you think that this weekend's result will have an effect? Like if GWS say lose this week, are they then a totally different kind of team next week against the Bulldogs, or is it like Bulldogs have? Oh, man, shit, they've won 8 of the last 9 against the Giants.
Mm-hmm.
Belted them in Canberra earlier this year. 30 points, 32 points.
Yeah. The GWS have had some mixed results in Canberra. They had a really long losing streak there for a while, and then they've just sort of started to shape it up, I think. But yeah, like they've got a pretty good buffer. If they win this weekend, they've got a pretty good buffer to almost say that they can afford to lose a game. But I think you're still pushing. Like with that sort of head-to-head record, I think the Bulldogs win that game.
Wow. Yeah, I think so as well.
But the Bulldogs haven't been known the last few years. Like they've been also in this sort of crunch spot since they won the Premiership and have choked on the run home. So that's also got to play a pretty big role in.
Well, we can remember this game, see where it all kind of works out, and when we can go back and play. Okay, what happens if that result's reversed?
All right, you're picking Western Bulldogs then.
Yeah. Adelaide, Hawthorn. Adelaide Hawthorn were good yesterday, but there was still some things that I was like, ooh. And I think against a better team than Carlton, they're going to struggle.
Yeah, I feel Hawthorn have lost their sting. They carried in the momentum at the start of the year from their run last season, and then it feels like once they started to lose again this season, they don't have that flair. They're not as like confident and full of themselves, which is I think they needed to be to get the results. Plus, now I think teams are working out how to beat them and how to pressure them properly. So,
yeah,
I think like I'm tipping the Crows the whole way the rest of these rounds. So.
Gold Coast at home against Richmond, not really a question there, is there?
No. We missed the Melbourne West Coast game.
No, it's there. I've just picked them. We're not going to land on any. If there's a one that doesn't really matter, I'm just going to pick it and roll on.
All right.
Collingwood, Brisbane. This, as I said, this could decide the minor premiership. If it's not Adelaide, it's going to be one of these two, and the winner of this game is the one that's going to be there pushing it. Brisbane obviously have that extra 2 points thanks to the draw.
Yeah, or 2 points less. Depends the way you look at it.
No, but they don't have as many losses, at least now, against compared to other teams.
What is the record of Collingwood versus Brisbane at the moment? I think it's pretty one-sided.
It's at the MCG as well, which puts me a little bit more onto Collingwood's side.
Yeah.
And they will be coming into this game probably with a bit of momentum with a big win over Richmond the week before.
And Brisbane might be out of the race because they're going to lose to the Gold Coast this week. Yeah, Collingwood.
Geelong beat Port. I think Geelong is safe. Oh, they're not safe if they lose that game.
They're not safe in the top 4. I think that's where there's also pressure. We're focusing a lot on 1 and 2 and the top 8, but it's also a lot of pressure to make that top 4. You really want that extra life.
But Geelong aren't like they need to keep winning. If they lose this game, then they're on the same possible points as the Suns and only 4 points behind the Bulldogs on the same amount of games. So they're not safe by any stretch of the imagination, but they have to obviously keep winning. I think they win at home against Port Adelaide anyway. So
yeah, absolutely. Freo beat Carlton. Freo beat Carlton. Yeah.
Huh?
Yeah, Freo beat Carlton.
Yeah. I think they have a good head-to-head
Freo
record.
also, man, like it's funny, like Frio also underdogs. I think like you can't say Adelaide are underdogs, but no one's been looking at them. And I think Freo are coming good. Freo are starting to play like we thought they would play from the start of the season. And Luke Jackson, a lot of
Oh,
clutch goal. Was that last week?
yeah,
Like that whole passage of play to beat the Pies, man.
yeah,
Like that
unreal.
shows that they've found some maturity.
The only thing is like Freo don't have a good record against Carlton. They've lost 3 straight and 7 of the last 8, including
Wow.
3 of the last 4 at Optus Stadium against Carlton. And Freo, they get up for the big games. You saw it against Collingwood, and they struggle sometimes against opponents where they should go in and win by,
Mm.
you know, comfortably. But I don't
Sound
know,
like a
like it feels
heartbroken
like
man.
right now the matchup against Carlton feels better than what they've had in previous years. Even though Carlton getting a few players back, we saw yesterday, but
Mm.
I don't see the Carlton defense doing enough to stop Luke Jackson, Caleb Sarong, Patrick Voss. Like,
Mm.
got to
Mm.
there's too many people to cover. They can't do it.
Yeah.
All right, round 21 is in the books.
Yeah.
Let's go to 22. Hawthorn Collingwood, another big marquee game on a Thursday night.
Yeah. Let's have a look at those.
I wonder how have Hawthorn gone on Thursday? They've played a few Thursday night games this year, right? I wonder if that has
Feels like
anything.
it. Oh, they've gone 1-for-1 since 2019. Hawthorn and Collingwood have gone win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5,
Mm,
6, 7, 8 games. Both have 4 wins, 4 losses. Collingwood won 107-56 earlier this year.
yeah.
So
Collingwood
Hawthorn are
have won
due.
all 3 games played on a Thursday night this year. Hawthorn are 2 wins, 1 loss. So I don't think you
Mm.
can take much out of that.
Well,
Yeah, I don't know. I'm on Collingwood here. I don't. Again,
yeah.
similar thing as we said in the last round. Hawthorn aren't really peaking at the moment, um, and up against a polished opponent like Collingwood, I think they'll be there or
Yeah.
thereabouts, but they won't win.
Yeah. Yeah. I can agree.
Brisbane, Sydney. By this time, Sydney already out. Um, Possibly, maybe a few players that are carrying niggling injuries. Maybe don't play out the season.
Brisbane.
Brisbane. Gold Coast at Marvel against Carlton. How do you feel about this one, buddy?
Uncomfortable. Very, very
Tell me your
uncomfortable.
thoughts.
Like these are the type of games, especially if Carlton have like been losing. I think we've been predicting most of these Carlton games to be losing. They're going to be. You just hope that the club starts to turn on itself by then, because if they start dropping sort of further down the ladder, they're obviously no chance to make the finals. But you just hope that then they start, more talk and more media about Vossi getting the sack and Kernsey getting traded. It's already started. Like you just hope all that starts to bubble over. So I'm going to give the Suns the benefit of the doubt, and hope that they find a way to win at Marvel.
I think they're a better team, despite the head-to-head record, and I think there's even talk about Kerno going to the Suns as well, right? So
Oh, I
he's
don't know.
not
I haven't.
he's not going to be the
Wow.
one to put them out of finals contention if he wants to
Yeah, he
go there
better
next
not.
year.
They'll pay him less, and he's getting into his money years.
Yeah, exactly. I think it's going to be a very interesting matchup, and that one will also then depend, I think, on previous results. If the Gold Coast manage to beat Brisbane this weekend, or if they maybe drop one of those games in the previous 2 rounds, then it could affect their mindset going into this one. So, but I trust them.
Good for
Dimmer's
you.
Dimmer's got them on a string at the moment.
They've won their 3 of their last 4 at Marvel, the Suns,
Oh, right.
but they lost to Richmond, and they've played Essendon, St Kilda, and Essendon.
Oh shit!
So it's nothing to write home about, really.
No,
But
no.
still, it's confidence. They smashed Essendon 115-74 the last time they played at Marvel. So
Okay.
that helps, I think.
Port Adelaide at home against the Dockers. This one, as a Freo supporter, I'm extremely afraid for. The Dockers do not have a great record at Adelaide Oval, and especially against Port, they've lost 3 in a row at Adelaide Oval. But they did beat Port Adelaide by 49 points back in May this year.
Yeah.
So
what is it with Adelaide Oval? In the Suns write up, I gave them a free card on losing by so much against the Crows, because they've never won at Adelaide Oval in the 14 years they've been in the competition. They have
wow,
never won at Adelaide Oval.
that's wild.
Yeah, an Adelaide Oval, mate.
But you have to pick Freo here, right? They're
Yeah.
much more in form. They're more consistent.
You can't, until Port Adelaide start. Like Port Adelaide could go on a run. Like, they have the class in their squad to be a top team. Like, they were predicted to be a top team. It's just that they just haven't been able to get it together, and you're just sort of waiting. You were waiting until that they were going to just go on a little run.
Yeah.
And it just hasn't really happened. And they could be a team that does cause a lot of pain to some of these teams fighting for minor premiership spots and top 8 spots. But they could also just continue to be a dud like they've been for most of the season. So.
Yeah.
But
Freo in there. GWS to beat North Melbourne. We can just go through that. Adelaide to beat West Coast. We don't have to go through that. But the one here that will have some bearing is the Bulldogs and Melbourne. Bulldogs beat them by 51 points they haven't played this year. It was last year in August. They played twice last year, split at 1-1. Melbourne, they're tragic this season. I don't know what's going on. They're like a little bit like Port Adelaide. Have the guys and the gear, but no, they're not winning.
Yeah, I don't know. What do you put it down to? Like, they've been sort of, they've always had that off-field drama, and they've just sort of never been able to get away from it. It's a shame, because like Max Gawn's having, arguably his career best season at, like, how old is he? He's like 30 plus.
Yeah.
And so it's a shame, because he's doing everything for his club and just not getting the consistent support. They can't kick goals. They're not dangerous enough inside 50.
Yeah, missing a key forward to definitely deliver goals. I don't see them scoring enough points to be able to worry the Bulldogs. Even if the defense is good and they hold the Bulldogs to a bit lower, I just don't see them scoring, anywhere in excess of 80 points, which they'll have to do to beat the Bulldogs.
Yeah, I agree.
They're averaging in their last 7 games, 79 points. So there you go, right on the money, or a little bit less. Exactly what I said. So we got to take the Bulldogs.
Yeah,
puts them up into the top 8. That win pushes the Suns out on percentage again. But Suns have a game in hand, which we'll come to very shortly. Round 23. How are we going for time, Jez? We need to run through a bit quicker. 23 minutes.
It's 24
All these
rounds.
matchups, they're just so exciting.
It doesn't matter. We're in no rush. You in a rush? I'm not in a rush.
I just don't want to be lagging. Frio and Brisbane. Frio at home against the Lions. Now, this is since Lockie Neal went to the Lions, this matchup has always been a very heated affair. And you can't say they've shared in the spoils, because it's a 5-3 record to the Lions over the last 6 years. Last year they played just once, and at Optus Stadium, and Freo beat them 93-70. At this stage, they're on equal games played, they're 6 points away from the Collingwood Magpies. Do they look at resting players maybe or managing players if it's like, okay, well, minor premiership, as long as we're in the 4. Oh, but if Freo win, they
No.
overtake them. Look at that.
Yeah. 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 There's no way. There's no way you're resting anybody or doing anything like that. Like I don't think any team in the hunt.
Wow, that's big. That's
Yeah.
important. Fuck.
Yeah. You can all of a sudden miss the 4. You're playing for your life every week. Brisbane, I think, Brisbane, I think would really enjoy or be a team like Brisbane and Collingwood want that week off. They want to win week 1 and have that week off. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I want to not just because you support them, I'm going to tip Brisbane. Nah, I think Frio will win that game. I'm hot on Frio to close out the rest of the season strong, and they're gonna. I think for them, they need to win these bigger games, and I think they match up well against Brisbane. I think they've got like just that little bit more energy. They can compete with them in the midfield and the ruck and the
Yeah.
stoppages. I think that's going to be a big clash, but I think that they do have the edge. You know, I don't know. It's
What'll
like
be
the
important
halfback
here?
lines for both of these teams are awesome. So it's going to be all about
Yeah.
just getting pressure and who can build pressure and who can transition best. And
Yeah.
I don't know. I just feel at the moment that Freo are just on that run, and Brisbane are winning, but without being like sort of impressive.
Yeah.
Feels.
Yeah, I think it's going to be about the Brisbane back line and the Freo forward line. If they can't
Mm,
um, create those winning plays into the forward line, then they're
mm,
gonna get dusted. They have to keep the
yeah,
scoring up,
yeah, yeah.
and
And that's what they've been doing over the last few weeks. It feels that's what they need, where they needed to improve from earlier in the season, and that's what they've sort of started to unlock.
yeah.
And you feel that it should just continue to get better.
All right, move on. Gold Coast and GWS.
Yeah, this is a loss for the Gold Coast, man. The head-to-head stats are gross. It's one win from the last 9. They've played all over the place.
Ooh.
They come close, 99 to 106 at NG Stadium this year. So that can give them some confidence, but like the Gold Coast are struggling with injuries at the moment, and it's starting to also play its part. You got Tuke Miller out, Rioli's gone.
Yeah, that's big. Like he was
Yeah,
so important to
it's
them in just their
it,
structural kind of
yeah,
play.
it's it's the like support to Noah Anderson. Now you can just shut down Noah Anderson, and the Gold Coast struggle to move the ball a little bit. So they need someone now to step up. You need sort of Rowell and Noble to start playing a bigger part and start moving the ball a lot more and pushing forward. Like Noble can unlock his, coming from the halfback line, he can add that extra guy through the middle and has the skill to do that. And when he's done that this year, they've been a much better side.
Yeah.
But like if they don't, it's just Noah Anderson just sort of going to have to do too much work now that Rioli's gone um but Noble can fill that role of Rioli being really really active through the middle. So, but coming up against GWS, I think it's going to be tough. I think if we're looking at this in reality, that would likely be a loss. There's going to need to be a big upset for the Gold Coast.
Just looking, like rebound 50s, opposition rebound 50s, because GWS like to run from their halfback line, the Orange Tsunami, and of all the teams in the AFL, the Gold Coast Suns are the second worst team at stopping rebound 50s.
Mm.
So that as you said, that matchup there is not favourable for the Suns. All right,
No.
Port Adelaide beat Carlton. Hawthorn beat Melbourne. I don't think there's,
Yeah.
as we've said, two different classes of teams there. I think this game could be a lot closer than many maybe would predict, given Melbourne's
Mm.
um, gameplay this season. I think they'll get up for this game, but I don't think they can win.
Mm. Just have a look.
Another top battle.
Could
Adelaide
decide the
and
minor premiership.
and Collingwood at the Adelaide Oval.
Yeah.
How do you break this game down? How do you analyze it? How do you find a I didn't expect Adelaide to be this good this season
Mm.
with their
Mm.
defense. I thought their attack is
Mm.
fantastic in the way they move the ball, but
Yeah.
how they've been
Yeah.
playing defensively, it's
Yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. Yeah. Like a stat I pulled this week, which is huge, is they take the most intercept marks and score the most points from turnovers.
Wow.
So it's like and it just like watching the game against the Suns, like it was, say the Suns were bad, but it was because of the pressure of Adelaide, like, and it was so quick. It just went from like the Suns were getting the ball sort of into the sort of in the forward 50 or thereabouts, but it was just like swinging straight away, and then there was a couple of handballs and then a good linking kick downfield, and all of a sudden like the Suns are outnumbered inside 50 and they're taking marks. The Crows are taking marks inside 50. Like it just moved so quick. And there's no way I'm backing at the Crows to lose at Adelaide Oval, even against
How's the
Collingwood.
head-to-head? They have not won since round 17 of 2016 against
The
Collingwood.
Crows against Collingwood.
Yeah.
That's
11
huge.
games.
That's big.
And that's 6 straight at Adelaide Oval they've lost.
Yeah. That's huge. and like I'm not backing against the Crows, but
it was a 10-point margin.
If you want to do it, you can. But the only thing that goes in Collingwood's favour here is their experience. I think the Crows are now finding themselves all of a sudden in a minor premiership hunt, and this game could be win or lose the minor premiership, and that could be what derails them.
It was a 10-point margin early this season. It was a 4-point margin in their single matchup last year. 2 points, 1 point, 5 points. So the last 5 games have been extremely close.
Yeah. Crows are due.
Go Crows, eh?
Yeah.
Geelong, Sydney. I think Geelong win that game. Same kind of thing we said last about the round before about the Swans, that their season's over. They've switched off.
Yeah. Yeah.
Bulldogs beat West Coast at home. No problem there.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Final round.
Suns, isn't it?
Final round, and here is the double game, which we're going to get to for the Gold Coast Suns. First up, Giants beat St Kilda, yes. Adelaide beat North Melbourne, yes. Oh, I'm scared of this one as well. Well, not really. Freo can lose this game and it won't matter.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's only going to matter
if everything plays out. If we go 9 from 9 from now until the end of the season, it won't matter for Freo. But it's asking a lot. It's asking a lot of our tips and prediction skills.
So the thing is, you could pick the Bulldogs here, probably because Freo are safe and they're not an experienced team that can control their emotions. If they know they're safe, I think they're clocking off, especially if the Bulldogs need to win to stay in. We can play with that result as well. Just going through, Collingwood beat Melbourne, Geelong beat Richmond. This game doesn't matter. Brisbane Hawthorn at the Gabba. Brisbane are down in 6th now.
Yeah. What happened?
But they win this and they give themselves a shot being in the top 4.
Yeah. I think they win.
Okay. Gold Coast beat Essendon in that first matchup.
Yeah.
So that was the game that has been rescheduled from opening round, and they're going to have to play, I think, it's going to be about three games in 10 or 12 days or something. And it's imperative they win all of them, to be honest. Like, they can't go around thinking that, oh, okay, well, we can take 2 of 3, or if they want to hold their own fate in their own hands, they need to win them all. And it's going to be an extremely tough stretch, especially with the injuries that you alluded to a bit earlier.
Yeah, it's an uncomfortable spot, but they beat Essendon and then they have all to play for against Port Adelaide, and then they'll lose and miss the finals.
Yeah, Adelaide over where they've never won.
Yeah. You got to back them.
So there
because
you
if
go.
they win that, say they win that, then they sneak in, right?
They win that, then they're in, because Hawthorn lose to Brisbane.
And that's losing 2 of their next, 2 games on the run home.
So let's just
and
go
Hawthorn
to
miss out.
Gold Coast's last few games, and because there was a few that we're going to go back and look at. So this one, if they manage to beat Brisbane, then they'll have a game in hand. They won't have to go undefeated. Lose to Brisbane, lose to the Giants, win all the rest, then they're good. But if they win one of those games against Brisbane or the Giants, then they can also lose to Port Adelaide and still be okay.
They can do a Gold Coast and lose to a team that they should beat.
But that is also if Hawthorn have a shit run, which we've predicted them to have. So Hawthorn are predicted to lose. Oh God, look at that!
Crows.
3 of the next 4.
But that shows that they have a tough run home.
Yeah. Well, it's the three teams
Crows,
battling for the minor premiership.
Crows, Collingwood, and Lions. Yeah. So I think it's very likely. Missed the Western Bulldogs game
in. Is there any other team worth looking? GWS.
That Western Bulldogs Fremantle game is going to be a decider as well, mate.
Yeah.
It really shapes.
So, if the Suns win that game against the Giants, then...
Or Brisbane this week. Don't forget Brisbane this week.
No, I'm talking about the Giants now.
Yeah.
Then they're going to have to... They can only afford to... Well, they can't afford to drop any more games. So this game against the Bulldogs will be extremely important, because then they're on the cusp then of missing out. But they have a little bit more leeway than the other teams. They're in the box seat of controlling their own destiny, especially if they win tonight.
It's going to be an interesting... Man, it's just crazy. It's definitely not going to end like this, in this order. But you even see now, it's definitely going to go down to that final round for minor premiership and the top 8.
Yeah. Well, there we go.
And then
so
you've
as
got
we
the
have it,
excitement
our
of
finishing
fighting
numbers are the Adelaide Crows, Collingwood, Geelong, Brisbane, GWS, Freo, Western Bulldogs, and the Gold Coast, with Hawthorn missing out.
Huge.
Massive.
Yeah. We've seen it first here on Ahead of the Game. This is the top 8. Imagine if it finishes like that. We should throw a tenner on it. Let's throw a tenner on picking the 8.
A multi. It'd be good if you could multi that.
You may as well just chuck your money in the creek.
All right.
Oh, I got really low. My chair just sunk me down.
Good chat. Back again to do the same for
a quick one.
NRL next week, maybe.
Yeah. Sounds good. And just remember out there, hang with us, Tux, Sport Takes, and Sports Pez Jez, and you will stay ahead of the game.